So the first one I put on the in the article is introducing the shadow before the body. So the reason I called it that is because I just think about that movie Nosferatu from the 1930s or 1920s, where like it created so much fear in people when they first saw that movie because you see the wall, you see the light, you see a lot of shadow, and at first you don't know what it is, but then you start kind of seeing like a long finger that's almost inhuman, and it's just a shadow of a finger, and then you see the shape of a really inhuman figure kind of crawling through the hallway, and that presence just sends chills down people's spines.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the worst horror movies, not the worst, the scariest horror movies, are the ones where you don't really see a lot of the villain, of the monster or the bad guy or whatever, because our imaginations make it usually a lot worse than it actually is. It happens to us in all aspects of life. You're going to go ride the roller coaster and you're so freaked out while you're waiting in line. And when you ride it, it's like, oh man, that was a blast.
Yeah.
It really wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. The impact.
So that's what you want to give your players. You want to. That's what you want to give your players. You want to build up that villain, so that in their minds, this is truly a terrifying antagonist that they're going to come face to face.
Makes it larger than life, right? When heroes are seeing kind of like the impact of this villain before they even get to meet them for the first time. And that's what I mean by introduce the shadow before the body. Player, how can you introduce this at your table? Well, player characters can come upon a village, right? And the village is destroyed. Everyone's just miserable. People are injured, dying, whatever. This is the impact the villain had on the village. And as the players interact with the townsfolk, they start to learn about who this person is. And the townsfolk now have this grandiose version of who this, super horrifying villain is and what he's done to them. The impact of their presence is really felt throughout when players arrive.
Great example is in the original Ravenloft campaign for second edition, where Strahd, you get to the village and you see everyone talking. They won't even say his name. It's like in Harry Potter too, right? He who we can't name or whatever. And yeah, they build it up, and then you hear the rumors, and some things are just so outrageous and larger than life. And you see the his castle is up on the hill, and you're hearing these as the character, right? You're hearing the rumors, and you look up and you see this huge castle, and your mind is just creating an image of who this person, this Strahd character, is.
Yeah.
And then when you get to face him, all of that is gonna overcome and overwhelm the characters, the players, so that it makes that final battle really grand.
Yeah, it's like a weight on your shoulders. And it's really good you mentioned the castle with the village, everyone kind of whispering. No one will actually say his name out loud. They kind of just whisper his name. That's really cool. That's a way to do it. And then the only image they have is that looming castle. It's almost like a figure standing over the village, watching over the village. The castle itself almost kind of had its own personality or, its own character that's just looming over. And the players can't help but think like, what is in there? What does this guy have, right?
Yeah, so it becomes basically more than just a name.
Yeah,
it becomes something else.
Yeah, think of that versus the players come up on the village, and as soon as they get there, the villain is also arriving and attacks the village. It's not quite as impactful as them just coming in and just seeing the shadow of the villain or the whatever's left, from after that village interacted with that villain.